I've been called a witch, a slut, and a murderer. Maybe people confuse me with the characters I've played.
Anita was sometimes furious and screaming and terrorizing everybody, and throwing things around. And then, an hour later, she would appear. She would serve you tea.
In the tapestry of rock and roll history, certain threads stand out not merely for their vibrancy, but for the shadows they cast. The saga of Keith Richards, Anita Pallenberg, and the tragic demise of Scott Cantrell in 1979 is one such thread, a confluence of passion, artistry, and the perilous allure of excess. Anita Pallenberg's entrance into the Rolling Stones' orbit was as serendipitous as it was transformative.
We met these wonderful rich boys in Geneva. They turned out to be very loyal.
Born on the 6th of April 1942 in Rome, she was the daughter of Arnold Pallenberg, a German-Italian sales agent, and Paula Wiederhold, a German embassy secretary. Her early life was a mosaic of cultures and experiences, shaping her into a polyglot and a cosmopolitan spirit. Before her entanglement with the Stones, Pallenberg had immersed herself in the avant-garde scenes of Europe and New York, even associating with Andy Warhol's Factory.
My motto was forward, forward, forward. Never look back.
Her encounter with Brian Jones in 1965, backstage at a Stones concert in Munich, marked the beginning of her profound influence on the band.
By then I already had my little stash of hashish that I used to carry around with me. So I offered them a joint. I said, "You want to have a joint?" No, we can't. So the only one afterwards, after the show, was Brian. He said, "Yeah, I'll have some."
Their relationship, however, was tumultuous, marred by Jones's volatile behavior.
But there was a lot of dramas.
The pivotal moment came during a trip to Morocco in 1967. Jones fell ill, and Pallenberg continued the journey with Keith Richards. This expedition not only signified the end of her relationship with Jones, but also the commencement of a new chapter with Richards.
In March 1967, Anita Pallenberg left him for Richards when Jones was hospitalized while the three were on a trip to Morocco, further damaging the already strained relations between Jones and Richards.
Reflecting on this period, Richards remarked, "She almost single-handedly transformed Brian and me into the people we became." Their bond was intense, both creatively and personally, with Pallenberg often regarded as the unofficial sixth member of the band, her insights and style leaving an indelible mark on their music and image.
They had bigger bowls than any of them did.
Keith would invite people over and they'd stay all hours, and it was her job to kick them out.
The union of Richards and Pallenberg was emblematic of the era's hedonistic spirit. Together they navigated the dizzying heights of fame and the abyss of substance abuse. Their relationship bore 3 children: Marlon Leon Sundeep, born in 1969, Dandelion Angela in 1972, and Tara Jojo Gunn in 1976. Tragically, Tara's life was fleeting. He succumbed to sudden infant death syndrome at just 10 weeks old. Richards was on tour at the time, a decision that haunted him. He later confessed, "I was on the road when I should have been at home. That always haunts me." The death of Tara cast a long shadow over their relationship. Grief, compounded by escalating drug use, strained their bond. Richards' heroin addiction became more pronounced, leading to multiple arrests and a growing rift between him and Pallenberg. She, too, grappled with her own dependencies, creating a volatile environment that oscillated between moments of creative brilliance and destructive excess.
She was creating this constant chaos.
If anything was bothering her, she wouldn't want to talk about it. And I say, "Oh, we have to sit down and talk about this." It's not an option with Anita.
By the late 1970s, the idyll of Richards and Pallenberg's life in South Salem, New York, had begun to fray. Their estate, once a sanctuary, became a theatre for the chaos that accompanied their addictions. It was within this milieu that Scott Cantrell, a 17-year-old local boy, entered their lives. Cantrell was employed part-time as a groundskeeper, but his involvement with Pallenberg reportedly extended beyond professional duties. The exact nature of their relationship remains shrouded in ambiguity, but it is widely believed that they were romantically involved. On the night of the 20th of July 1979, while Richards was in Paris recording with the Rolling Stones, tragedy struck. Cantrell was found dead in Richards's bed from a gunshot wound to the head. The weapon, a .38 caliber pistol owned by Richards, was discovered at the scene. Pallenberg was present in the house at the time of the incident. Initial reports suggested that Cantrell had been playing a game of Russian roulette, a perilous gamble that led to his untimely death. The local authorities conducted a thorough investigation, during which Pallenberg was arrested, but later released. The death was ultimately ruled a suicide, absolving Pallenberg of legal culpability.
This sort of Bonnie and Clyde thing, zooming off with cops in the trees.
The police hauled her off to jail.
It was very, very dark.
The aftermath of Cantrell's death sent ripples through the Rolling Stones' inner circle and the public. Richards, upon learning of the incident, was confronted with a maelstrom of emotions. In his autobiography, Life, he recounted, things went beyond the point of return with Anita when her young boyfriend blew his brains out in our house. His words underscored a sense of betrayal and the realization that their relationship had reached an irreparable breaking point. Marlon Richards, their eldest son, who was present in the house during the incident, harbored his own sentiments. He described Cantrell as a really nasty kid who had threatened to harm his father. Marlon admitted to feeling a sense of relief upon Cantrell's death, a stark reflection of the toxic environment that had enveloped their home. The public and media reaction was a mixture of shock and morbid curiosity. The incident fed into the rock and roll mythos of danger and decadence, but it also highlighted the very real consequences of a lifestyle unmoored from conventional boundaries. Cantrell's family, particularly his brother Jim, expressed anguish over the loss, emphasizing the age disparity and the tragic end of a young life entangled in a world far removed from his own. The death of Scott Cantrell marked a definitive end to the chapter of Richards and Pallenberg's relationship. They separated shortly after, their bond irreparably damaged by the incident and the preceding years of turmoil. Pallenberg retreated from the limelight, focusing on her personal recovery, and later pursuing studies in fashion design. Richards, too, confronted his demons, eventually overcoming his heroin addiction and continuing his illustrious career with the Rolling Stones. In retrospect, the events of 1979 serve as a poignant reminder of the perils that lurk beneath the veneer of rock and roll glamour. The story of Scott Cantrell is not merely a footnote in the chronicles of the Rolling Stones, but a somber testament to the collateral damage of fame and excess. It underscores the fragility of youth and the tragic consequences that can arise when the boundaries between reality and hedonism blur.